YouTube, what's going on? This is Coach Show, back with another video. This one is a little bit more advanced. It's going to require some knowledge of flywheel training, and if it's something you're not already aware of, I want to teach you about the Kbox. We've been using flywheel training for about 5 or 6 years now, and to say that the results have been impressive would be a grave understatement. This season specifically, we've been working on what I'm calling a sprinter's leg press. The idea of it is to replicate the start and trying to get as sport specific as possible. If you have access to a Kbox or K-pulley, flywheel training in any form or fashion, I would love for you to give this one a go. It's challenging, it's painful, but it's gonna be so beneficial for your start. I'm gonna explain what flywheel training is, why it's beneficial, and what the sprinter's press looks like, how to do it, and I'm gonna present some examples like we always do using this green screen. So I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, let's go. All right, first and foremost, flywheel training, very brief overview, has been around for decades. It's not a new form of training. The Kbox from Exxentric has popularized it, made it more portable and more accessible, but they've been using flywheel training for a long time. Flywheels don't use weights, right? It's like a metal wheel that responds to movement, just like the physics term inertia. Inertia says an object at rest will stay at rest until an action is applied to it. Same thing with the flywheel training. You get out what you put in. Weight training, traditional resistance training doesn't reflect that. You have to be strong enough to get out of each position, right? But flywheel, if you move slower, it's a lot easier. If you move powerfully, it's a lot more difficult. So your force is measured differently than just traditional weights. That's where like VBT training, velocity based training, you can track like force output in watts and meters per second, stuff like that. The flywheel training gives you force output in watts, especially through the Exxentric app. So I say all that to say, flywheel training is not your traditional strength training. You're not gonna chase like a 405 squat. It's just not like that. But you are trying to chase your force output numbers, and platforms like Exxentric allow you to measure that. So why we use this is, I mean, just to be honest, I have the equipment, why not use it? That's really the main part, right? If I didn't have the Kbox, could I still replicate something like this? Absolutely. And I think I can share something with you guys that you can do at the gym or wherever you guys go to replicate it. But it's sport specific because the primary reason you're in the blocks is to get down the track as fast as possible. So you really got to use the blocks to achieve your goal. And strength is the limiting factor when it comes to block clearance, getting off the blocks. This sprinter's press allows me as a coach to get specific to certain strength deficiencies that the athletes have, right? I think, you know, if I did a squat with 10 athletes, I'm going to get 10 different ranges of motion, right? But eventually everyone's going to come up, hopefully. With the sprinter's press though, if the athlete isn't strong enough, they'll end up kind of like going flat toward the ground, or their knees drop. They can't keep their hips up, which tells me they don't have enough hip and glute engagement. So the sport specificity piece is to the position of the blocks, absolutely. But it also tells me, okay, this wheel is too heavy, let me get them something lighter, or it is heavy, let me keep them at challenge, because the thing that is important for them to get off the blocks, they're not able to do consistently. And if and when they do improve that, I can see in how they move. I want to talk about the sprinter's press and how to set it up, how to go about it. You have your box, you have a platform that you're holding on to. We have like boxes, as you can see, the athlete's hands are on them. And they're already in this kind of, where the set position or the start position should be them like in set in the blocks. Your hips higher than the shoulders. And the idea is you're pushing out, right? I like to have a little angle. So if this is the leg of the Kbox, the foot is making an angle there. So their heel is here and the toe is down here. Just to replicate kind of what the foot angle would be out the blocks. Some people have gone flush, and that's okay too. Just so I had a preference, but I would prefer to see it like this, and I do try to coach it like that. You have to have someone stand on the box. This is really important because unless the wheel is really heavy, the wheels are really heavy because you can have multiple, and the speed of the action is slow, there won't be enough weights that you could put on it to stop it from moving. Well, maybe there are. I prefer to have like someone, I'm a bigger guy, or have an adult stand on the box, or maybe two of the athletes stand on the box so that it doesn't move as the person that's doing the move can execute it. We've also experimented with putting plates underneath the legs. This is probably the only limiting factor with the portability of the Kbox is you really gotta like anchor it down so it doesn't move during certain things. But considering all the benefits you get from it, having just to figure out how to weight it down doesn't seem like such a big deal. When they're in that set position and the feet are set, almost like the arms are in front of them, they're just gonna drive off. I think about extending through. When the wheel is pulling them back, they just kind of get that feeling. There's that, it's a difficult thing, but it's a feeling of like timing it to come back without it like jarring you. Because if you're holding on, like you're at the end range of motion and the wheel's pulling you back, it's gonna like kind of like whip you a little bit. So what you do is you push out, you get a feel for it, and you want to time the return of the hips. So you're staying on tempo with the wheel, with the cord. If you're moving too fast, the cord will slack. If you're moving too slow, when you're moving too slow, that's when it pulls you. So you want to just time it up, big push, absorb it, and come right back to it. We use one large wheel as a base, as a starting point. It seems to be plenty, especially when we go single leg. Holy smokes, they do not like single leg. Reps and sets, we're looking at about 3 sets of 6 when it's bilateral, both legs. And if it's single leg, 3 sets of 8, 4 on the left, 4 on the right. It's gonna attack the quads, it's gonna attack the hamstring, it's gonna attack the hips, the glutes, but that's exactly what we want. When we do single leg, we want the knee kind of like in a pre-driven position. What I have the athletes do is like get to a single leg position, the hands are on the box already, and they'll put the knee like on top of the box or in front of them. So we know like that's the finished position. Then we wheel them up, spin that wheel, pull them back, and the knee is just gonna keep that knee exactly where it's at. And you drive off, boom. If you're gonna replicate this at your gym, here's a few things to consider. The resistance piece is major, right? We said flywheel training is not traditional resistance training, but at your local gym, you don't have a Kbox or you don't have flywheels, so you need to use traditional strength training. Most people would see this and think, oh, let me just tie some bands to me. The bands cannot replicate the same level of strength and resistance that you need for a well-trained athlete. You've been in the weight room for a couple years, the bands could be cool, but not that difficult. You need it to be challenging. And I don't know if you can tell from those videos that I just played, but this is no walk in the park. And these are some pretty strong kids that we have here. So make sure you're using the appropriate weight, resistance, and setup. My mind says The best way to replicate this would be a single leg hack squat. A single leg hack squat. You may be unfamiliar with the hack squat, but I will encourage you guys to look that up. I'll probably put a link in the description to some examples. But as far as like specificity to the start, a hack squat is going to be pretty close, and it's going to give you the stability that this Kbox has as well. Another option would be a kickback on a leg press. And this is something we also do with our athletes, right? We're in a hip extension sport. You guys have heard me say this on the channel before. We're in a hip extension sport, so you need to think about movements that are going to get you to extend the hip. Squats are great, cleans are great, trap bar deadlift is great. All these things are great. However, the isolation and stability piece is what we're also trying to consider here. So the reverse or a kickback on the leg press machine. So you're normally oriented facing the leg press forward, right? You're seated. If you turn around and you put your foot on the one foot on the leg press platform, your hands are holding the chair and you're kicking away from you. That's going to replicate you driving off the blocks. Just want to leave you with that. If you have a Kbox or a K pulley, let me know in the comments, how have you enjoyed it? Again, I've had it for a couple years now. And it's been game changing for us. It's been really helpful, a helpful tool for our athletes. We do different things during different parts of the year with them. This is something we would do now. I'm going to keep it through our next block and then shut it down as we go to the new year. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you have them, if you have access to them, have you done this before? This is not a new move. I didn't create this, but we use it a lot, so I wanted to share it with you guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. We love you guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. Until the next one, peace.